Welcome to the Afterbath podcast, where we explore unique experiences and wellness practices. I'm your host, Matt. Today we have a special episode where we'll be diving into the world of sound baths. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be immersed in soothing sound waves, you're in for a treat. Have you ever thought what it's like to immerse yourself in a sound bath? Well, today I've got you covered. Join me as I invite a special guest to dive into the unique experience of a sound bath and spill all the details on the Afterbath podcast. You might be wondering, what is a sound bath? Well, a sound bath is a meditative experience where participants are bathed in sound waves produced by various instruments like gongs, singing bowls, chimes, and tuning forks. The goal is to promote relaxation and well-being. The history and origins of sound healing practices date back to ancient civilizations, including Tibet, Greece, and Egypt. The modern sound bath combines these traditional techniques with contemporary wellness practices. Today we'll be welcoming Shell to her first of 6 sound baths. We will be watching her journey as she progresses through 1 sound bath a week for the next 6 weeks. We hope to gain valuable insight from her personal experience. So let's jump into it. So, Shell, this is pre-sound bath. How are you feeling?
I am a bit nervous, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But I'm really looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
know that this is going to be a transformative experience. I'm really looking forward to what the change in me will be after a session of 6 as opposed to just 1 sound bath.
Yes, yeah.
I'm very curious about that.
Fantastic. Well, should we go over sound bath?
Absolutely.
Okay,
let's
do
go.
it.
Yay!
In these next couple of photos, you can see the sound bath setup that I like to use. You can see a bed that's been made up on the ground. This bed is made of several yoga mats with a washable blanket on top. It's very important that we make sure that the bed is very comfortable. As the participant may fall asleep, you certainly don't want them to get cold or stiff muscles. There is also a heater in the room to make sure that the ambient temperature is nice and warm. You can see that there are 7 bowls used in this practice. There are 2 bowls on the right hand side which are positioned around the chest and abdomen. You've got 3 bowls on the left hand side which are positioned from the chest all the way down to the feet. There is a bowl in the middle of the ankles, and then there is a bowl above the head, which, as you can see, is probably just above the pillow there. Beyond that bowl there is a gong. The gong is set a couple of feet back, and the other thing that you probably can't see in this is a number of tuning forks. And that pretty much consists of the standard practice that I always use. So joining us today is Shell, who recently experienced her 4th sound bath. So welcome, Shell. So briefly introduce yourself and your interest in exploring wellness practices.
Shell, I'm Shell, a former student of yours for banjo, former student for recording.
Yep.
And now a client for sound bathing. This is my 4th sound bath.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really unfair of you to make me speak after that, let alone expect me to say anything articulate or intelligent. Because I am still in the trance of the sound bath. So this is, I'm trying to get back down to earth.
Yeah.
To have a conversation.
That's good. That's good. So obviously it had an effect. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be able to tell from the before and after. I was very nervous, and now I'm super chilled and very fluid.
Yeah, great. Could you articulate, like what the sensation is that you're having now? What does it feel like?
Yeah. So let me just feel into this. I can breathe. Whoa. I can breathe really deeply now. And when I came in, it felt like I had a traffic jam at the back of my neck. Felt crowded.
Yep.
That's dissipating. So that's one effect. I feel that around my chest I'm a lot looser. Everything just feels calmer, looser, more fluid. The breathing is very noticeable. The change in the breathing is very noticeable.
Yeah.
It's deeper, much deeper, and that makes me feel very relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get back down to earth, so I hope I'm making some sense.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's good. That's good. Do you feel like there's been some benefit?
Well, being able to breathe deeply definitely has benefit. For me, physiologically, I feel calmer. It also helps me in terms of my thinking. There's a lot, I can think more clearly. I know tonight I'll be able to sleep more deeply as well. So 100% does have benefit.
Great. And was there, a time during the sound bath that maybe you had a moment, like maybe there was a sound that had a greater effect on you?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's good to explain what was around me.
Yep.
So I think you started with the tuning forks, and I had my eyes closed for most of this, so I'm not 100% sure of the shape of objects.
Yep.
But I do know that you had tuning forks.
Yes.
And there was some other instrument there, maybe like a glock. It sounded like a glockenspiel.
Yep.
Or one of those wind chimes that are made from wood.
Yes, wind chime.
It was a wind chime?
Yeah, wind chime.
Okay. So the forks have a really interesting effect. It's all above my head.
Yeah.
And it clarifies my thinking up here.
Yep.
That's not quite an accurate thing to say, because generally the sound bath makes me stop thinking.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yes.
It creates a sense of spaciousness.
Yep.
Where thinking has stopped.
Yeah.
The tuning forks particularly do that.
Yes.
There was another really interesting experience. So there was a point, so I'm surrounded by all the different bowls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's immersive. It's all around you, every little bowl. And I think you had walked around.
Yes, correct.
And activated each bowl, which had a different frequency and a different tone.
Correct.
But at one point, they were all singing together.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So here I am, tucked in my little cocoon with my heavy blanket.
Yeah.
And my other blankies, and all these bowls are around us singing in harmony.
Yeah.
And vibrating.
Yeah.
Well, at that moment, I guess I must be pretty powerful, because I could actually feel the vibration.
Yep.
Coming into my body.
Yep.
The effect of having them all going at once made me feel like I was in the middle of a group hug.
Wow. That's great.
How good is that?
That's great. Wow.
It's a vibrational sound hug,
Yeah.
group hug.
Amazing.
Yeah. So the third really impactful part was the gong.
Yes.
Yeah.
The gong is powerful, yeah?
Yeah. So it's interesting. My experience of gong was, this is going to show my age, was it Hey Hey It's Saturday?
Oh, yes.
And people would get gonged off. And it was a terrible sound.
Yeah.
And it's a negative sound, like, you're so bad, you've got to get off this stage.
Yes.
This is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way you use the gong and control the vibration of the gong is really interesting.
Yep.
So how do I explain this? So it's at my head. It was at my head.
Yep.
I'm lying down. And you've hit it and it's thrown out a lot of vibration.
Yes.
And because it's so big, its circumference of vibration is surrounding my entire body and then taking up the space in the room.
Yep.
Am I getting this right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've hit it a number of times to build up the whatever you're building up there.
Correct. Yeah.
The sound, the
it's like
energy.
A big wave.
Wave.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the way. That's the word. The wave. And it felt like it was just moving stuff out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know what stuff.
Yeah.
Thought stuff, energy stuff, stuck stuff, just stuff. It felt like it was clearing it out.
Yeah, great.
There was a thought that maybe it gets too powerful and then it becomes abrasive and violent.
Yes.
Which to me could have a counterproductive effect, but you control that gong perfectly.
Great.
So you must have been doing something with the gong thing, with the to soften it and to reel it in, right? So you took it to just the right point of, I guess, healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without it stepping over a threshold where it could become traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Am I making any sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Still a bit drunk here on
vibrations. Yes.
Yeah, trying to be articulate.
Yeah. It's probably a little bit like if you were to go down to the beach and you stand in amongst the waves and you get a wave that doesn't knock you over but pushes you forward a bit.
Yeah. Good analogy.
And it's a fun kind of thing, but it's not a dumper. It's not one where you've just been pushed to the ground and the water's gone up your nose.
There were no vibrations up my nose.
Yeah.
So what else? I'm trying to think what else.
At what point during the sound bath did you notice, like obviously now it seems to me that you're in an altered state of consciousness. Like if you were to say look at on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say if you were to drink a glass of wine and then you get rolling drunk would be a 10, and being completely sober, which would be say a 1. When you first came in, you would have been what, a 1, right? Or
if you're making an analogy with soberness, I'm not sure that the analogy fits.
Okay, good. Explain that.
Because I came in nervous, apprehensive.
Yeah.
Not so much about the sound bath. I'm just uncomfortable being on camera.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it was kind of a -1 or a -2, that kind of thing. And it's not a sober feeling. That's not a sober feeling. To feel nervous is not a calibration point.
No.
So if if either 0 or 5 are good calibration points,
Yeah.
I was not on a good calibration point. I was a minus somewhere because of nervous energy, anxiety, feeling uncomfortable about being in the public domain at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm still not really sure that being drunk is the right analogy for this.
Yeah.
But we'll go with it.
Yeah.
We'll go with it for a second. It might be about a 7.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
maybe a 6 or a 7. So it's that point where you feel relaxed.
Yeah.
You still feel lucid. Your barriers are down.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you still feel in control.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel like, as you were if you were drunk, you had lost functional ability. Like you're finding it difficult to walk, or you're finding it difficult to articulate your thoughts. You're still quite lucid.
Absolutely. I was lucid the entire time, just really relaxed and feeling that pressure was coming off my nervous system.
Yep.
The better analogy, if I may
jump
in with
yes,
one,
absolutely.
is literally the simplest one, a bath.
Yeah, right, okay.
Bath of warm water.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 camps of people. There are people who have baths all the time. That's their preferred mode of washing. So they know that beautiful moment when they immerse themselves in the warm water and it just washes off everything from the day. And then there's shower people.
Yes.
But it is a different experience. It's a very different experience to immerse yourself fully in warm water.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something so soothing about it, calming about it.
Yep.
It is the big hug, right?
Yep.
It is the big hug. So that is how it feels, right?
Yes.
It feels more like coming into a room. So before I got in there, it feels like going into a room of strangers and feeling nervous about that, and then seeing my favourite aunties in the corner and just relaxing, and them noticing me and giving me the group hug.
Great.
And the relaxation that comes from that kind of thing. Yeah, it's more of an immersion in water and that effect of truly being bathed in something that calms you. Yeah, it's a different feeling to being drunk.
Yeah, that's good to know. Any negative aspects, anything that's coming up that you go, oh, you know what, this doesn't sit right with me, or anything like that?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I might need to come back to you on that one. Not at the moment.
Yeah.
Not at the moment. I did have some thoughts go through my mind of people who've come up from the past in my mind in that relaxed state. I thought, I haven't thought about them for a while. I wonder why they've popped up.
Yeah.
So I wondered if there's something there that I have suppressed and I need to process.
Yep.
I don't know yet. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to drive home safely if you've grounded me properly. So I'm in control to drive, but
we'll be making sure that you're sober before you do anything like that.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to the cup of dandelion chai.
Yeah.
That would be good. Not at the moment. I can't really think of anything at the moment. Mildly. I think what that kind of experience does, it allows an environment for a few stuck, yucky feelings to come up.
Got it.
So there were a few yucky feelings. Mainly it was just feeling cross about non-specific, feeling a little bit angry, a little bit cross, frustrated about non-specific stuff. That was a bit of an uncomfortable feeling. But once the gong came along...
Yeah, right, okay, yeah, great. Yeah, that was gone.
It felt like it was getting it unstuck. Yeah?
Got it, yeah.
It's like chewing gum that's got stuck to the floorboards, and you've been doing your normal cleaning processes of sweeping and mopping, but the chewing gum just gets stuck somewhere. Its residue just leaves that kind of stickiness. But then with the right instrument and the right chemical, you can fully move it.
Got it.
Yeah?
Yep.
So people say it's eucalyptus oil. Okay? Yeah. I'm not giving cleaning advice here. I guess the same, I can use that type of analogy to explain the yucky feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That once the gong came in, it just shifted that. And it felt like... So it happened in increments.
Yep.
Yeah. And just pushed it out.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I hope that illuminates the experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And would you recommend this? Well, would you recommend this to any of your friends?
I have already recommended it to my friends.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I have. Sometimes, and I'm finding this is why I've volunteered to go through this 6-session process with you.
Yeah.
I love improvement.
Yes.
And I love to improve, and I have an appetite for learning how to make myself better in whatever realm that might be, whether it's musically or work-wise or health-wise or thinking-wise, etc. But there's, no matter how much I've ingested up to date, I now feel that there's this sort of stuck point, not quite stuck, but that's too, stuck's too, it's not accurate. It's more like I've been trying to move forward with my legs moving through mud.
Got it.
It's not that I'm not progressing, it's just that it feels like I'm doing it the hard way.
Yes.
And I don't know another way to make this an easier process.
Got it.
So when you suggested the 6-week sound immersion, I wondered if this was a method to provide maybe not a fast track, but another option to move forward out of this quagmire that I'm in. Yeah? Because I've tried lots of different things and I have an appetite to try different things. But this is just a new option.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So would I recommend it to others? Yes, I have. And if you feel stuck too, or you feel that there's progress that can be made somewhere in your life and you've tried lots of different things, maybe sound healing's an option. Yeah. I'm the guinea pig, so we'll find out in 6 weeks if my life's transformed.
Fantastic. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure there will be at least some change. Yeah, it seems like there has been some change already. So
are you noticing something different other than just not being nervous?
No, yeah. Like the difference between when you first came in and now is chalk and cheese. It's quite different.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. You seem present. And you seem self-aware, but in a very good way. You're more aware of, I would say, a high level of control.
Really?
Yeah. Usually what I see is that when people come in and they're quite fearful, they essentially, they're afraid that they've lost control of their environment. and they begin to shut down. You know, it's a bit like the rabbits in the headlight. You know, you get a bit stunned mullet.
Yeah, well, that's me with cameras.
Yeah. And so you don't talk very much, and there's a lot of looking at the ground, and you know, there's a lot of pauses between questions which seem awkward rather than thoughtful or wise pauses. Yeah.
Can I relate one other experience?
Yes, please.
An analogy?
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've been a baby.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. It felt like it was such a lovely experience to be on the mat, and I was really well insulated. The weighted mat and the blankies, etc. But also the poles were almost a force field, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, they formed both a physical barrier, as well as an energetic barrier, because once they started vibrating, it felt like I was protected by them.
Yes.
So it actually reminded me of being in the cot.
Ah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Being in the cot.
Yes.
Being all tucked in.
Yeah.
Cot's a bit of a jail with the crates.
Sure.
Take the positive from it, not the negative.
Yeah.
So just being, you can't fall out. You kind of protected by the whole scenario, and you're really, really cushioned and cozy and protected. That's what it felt like for quite a lot of the time. It felt like being in the cot.
Wow.
I don't know if that has some sort of psychosomatic weirdness there, but
sure.
it was a really
thing.
lovely feeling. I think that's important because I believe that no true healing can take place unless you feel safe.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the number one thing. What I see as a facilitator of, sound baths, the main issue that people come in with is fear. Yeah, and it's like a fear that they've lost control of, and they can't seem to get a hold of it. It's like it started off as maybe a small thing when they were younger, and maybe a nuisance, and it's just grown out of control. And so now, to get control back of the fear can take quite a bit of doing. Yeah, quite a bit of practice, daily practice, depending what you're into, whether it's yoga or going to the gym or massage or whatever it is, whatever healing modalities you like. Yeah, it can take quite a bit of work. So I feel sound baths are very effective. They're very effective. I mean, that's why I took it up.
For shifting fear.
For shifting fear. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Well, I don't want to rush the process because you can't rush it, but I'm really curious to know in 6 sessions what my life will be like.
Yeah.
I've known the benefits of individual sessions, but to have 6 of them as a protocol for change.
Yes.
I just think that this could be this kind of immersion and sequencing of it. It could be profound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to number 6.
Yeah, great. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's the thought I have. I want to see what the result is of this. I'm really curious.
Yeah, great.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So, thanks, Shell. We will see you in a week's time for a second sound bath.
I know.
And another interview. So, look forward to seeing you then. Cheers.
Cool. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. This has been a fascinating exploration of sound baths. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Until next time, stay well and keep exploring new experiences.